It's time to talk about how we talk, and a new exhibit opening up in Waipahu does just that. If you'd like to learn about the development of Pidgin English and Hawaiian Creole, then you'll want to head to the Hawaii Plantation Village Museum to check out Pidgin, How Was, How Stay. This learning event is free. And joining us this morning are Christina Higgins and Andrew Choi. Thanks for joining us this morning from the Department of Second Languages Studies at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. I want to go ahead and just open it up to you, either one of you, to talk about today's event. What's going to be happening?
Today it's the opening of a new exhibit, and this exhibit is a permanent addition to the Hawaii Plantation Village Museum. And it's really celebrating and helping people to understand the origins of present-day Pidgin, going back to plantation days, turn of the century, all the way up to the present. Sort of getting it under the misconceptions of what Pidgin is, and also showing how people use it still today.
So let's talk about it. How did it begin? How did it evolve? Who was using it?
It started on sugar plantations, really, and it was probably somewhere in the 1870s that Chinese workers and Hawaiians and English-speaking landowners and plantation bosses were coming together and really needed to communicate. And they weren't spending a lot of time every day together, and they all had their own first languages. But to kind of get those rudimentary communications down, they developed a very simple language, which is called Pidgin. And this word has stuck around. It doesn't quite refer to the same thing that they were using back then. But over time, more people came. The Portuguese came next, and then after them, the Japanese, and then Koreans, Filipinos. And all together, they had children who grew up together, and they evolved the language into Hawaii Creole.
And so, Andrew, we want to get you involved in this as well. Let's talk a little bit about some of this evolution. What are some of the words that they used back then that has been modified and changed, and we may use or may not use anymore?
Yeah, I think some of the words that you hear on the plantation, you would have heard at the plantation, would be like hapai ko, which means to carry, or hohana, which means to work. Nowadays, we have a bunch of different Pidgin words. Some of the words that we have that perhaps borrow from then to now are gasa gasa, which means rascal. You may also say kolohe. Boro boro, which are your home clothes. You can that was on the plantation, and people will still say that today. And then, of course, shoots or how's it are words that have kind of carried over more, that you hear more often.
Those weren't words that they used back then, but they've been modified from original Pidgin?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can say English has crept in more and more, but the structure of Pidgin has stayed very much the same. But a lot of people feel that Pidgin has become very English, and it's the same as English, but it just looks like it on the surface. It's just the vocabulary.
Okay, we've got some phrases here I think we're going to put up just to talk about those. Let's see what we have here. I think if my producer can put those up on the screen. Let's see. Here we go. I can barely see. Can you guys read that?
Yeah, that's the if can, if no can, no can.
And this is modified Pidgin.
This one's been around.
Yeah.
This one's been around for probably 150 years, because it's actually a translation of Cantonese, and it probably came straight from Cantonese, and eventually got sort of turned into English, but the grammar's straight up Cantonese.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do we have some more here? Some more Pidgin sentences? Okay.
Things no stay hamas, stay kapakahi.
A little mix of
modern and old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to translate?
Roughly translated, it means something to the effect of things aren't things aren't messed up. They're just out of order. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if we have any more, or maybe some words here.
There's
one more. Okay.
This one's a riddle.
All right.
Yeah, this is kind of a tongue twister, if you will. It goes like this: cow no cow cow buta cow cow, cow 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 cow. And roughly translated, it means cows don't eat pig slop, cows eat cow food.
And this is coming from plantation days.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe
Okay.
something people would use as a language game. Kids would use as a riddle or something like that.
So Pidgin, obviously evolving over the years, continuing to evolve as well?
Definitely. And it's interesting because there's differences across the islands, and we're still trying to sort out what those are. But yeah, it's still here. It's been here, and it looks like it's going to stick around.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, thanks for coming in this morning to talk Pidgin with us about Pidgin. And once again, there is an event happening today at the Plantation Village. You guys are going to be talking more about Pidgin. If you'd like to learn about that, that goes on from 1 to 3 p.m. today, once again, at the Hawaii Plantation Village Museum in Waipahu.